This is Catholic Forum. I'm Bob Krebs. Marion Amberg is an award-winning journalist and book author specializing in faith travel. She has written for over 100 publications ranging from Catholic Digest to Family Motor Coaching to Texas Highways. Her new book is titled Incredible Catholic America, Smallest, Tallest, Oldest, Oddest. I'd like to welcome to Catholic Forum Marion Amberg. Thanks for joining us today, Marion.
Well, thank you very much, Bob, for having me.
What did I miss in your introduction? What did I leave out?
What did you miss in the introduction?
Yeah, what else should we know about you?
Oh, well, I'm a farm kid. I grew up on a farm in west central Minnesota. And from a very, very young age, I loved to travel. Most of the travel, since I grew up on a farm and we had farm chores, was done in my mind, and I would look at maps and just dream one day of being able to visit some of these places.
And your dreams came true.
They certainly have come true. Some of my travels, though, have also been via the internet while I researched some of my book projects. But even that is an eye-opener into how rich and how diverse American Catholicism is.
Yeah, how did you get interested in faith travel? It seems like kind of a niche.
I started freelancing about 30 years ago, and back then I remember telling somebody that if I had to choose one topic to write about for the rest of my life, it would be churches, chapels, shrines, because they have some of the most incredible stories, some of the most beautiful architecture. And I guess I'm just a church junkie, and whenever I walk past the church, I have to go inside to see what it looks like.
Is faith travel becoming more popular?
I think it is. I think it really took off, I believe, in the U.S. during COVID.
Yeah.
People, not so much in 2020, but in 2021, when people started traveling again, even though they had to wear the mask in a lot of places, they couldn't wait to get on the road, go see something, because we had been cooped up in our houses for a long time. I think people are beginning to realize that you don't have to go to Europe to see a great shrine, a great cathedral. We have miracles right here in our country. One of the youngest people up for sainthood probably in the Catholic Church is right there in Louisiana. And so, we have it all right here. That's not to say don't go to Europe, but also explore what's right in your backyard.
Mm-hmm. Who was that person in Louisiana that you mentioned?
That is Charlene Richard. I believe I'm pronouncing her last name correctly.
Mm-hmm.
And she was 12 years old when she died. About 2 weeks before she died, she discovered she had a very difficult case of cancer, of leukemia, I believe. And while she was in the hospital during her last 2 weeks of life, the hospital chaplain, a Catholic priest, would come in every day to visit her. And she would say, "Who are we praying for today?" Every single person that she prayed for physical healing or to return to the church or be converted to Catholicism, all of those prayers were answered.
Wow. And her cause for canonization?
And she's especially good at answering prayers from priests, especially when it comes to, fundraising for new churches.
When did she pass away? Do you know?
I want to say 1960s or so.
Oh, wow. And she has there's a site there in Louisiana that you can visit?
Yes, you can visit her. You can visit her grave at, I believe, it's St. Joseph's Cemetery in, oh my gosh, I'm forgetting this. It might be Richard, Louisiana.
Okay, cool. Well, we'll make sure that is in your new book, Incredible Catholic America.
Yes, and that is under the chapter Incredible People of Faith.
So we'll have to get that book and look up that chapter to get more information about her. So how did this book come about?
Well, I had written a couple of American Catholic travel books, and I started realizing there's all these wonderful little pieces of trivia, biggest, oldest, smallest, whatever. And so I decided to put it together in a book. Let's just have some kind of, have some fun. So it's a sort of a trivia book, but it could also be used as a travel book. At the very end of the book, I list all of the states. There's an index by state and the District of Columbia. And then there's another index of all the people, of all the names that are in the book. So if you want to find, let's say, something related to Father De Smet, you could go to the index of incredible people, and you'd find Father De Smet's name and where his stories are.
I see. And you could do that by looking up, say, in Delaware or Maryland and find that by state as well.
Exactly.
So speaking of Delaware, tell us a little about the entries that are in your book from our home state.
Well, one of my favorite stories is the Our Lady Queen of Peace Shrine that's at Newcastle.
Yep.
And I call her the largest welcome sign in the country. You know how you drive into a new state, it might say, welcome to New York, welcome to Minnesota, whatever. So Our Lady Queen of Peace is kind of like a welcome sign to people entering into Delaware.
Exactly.
And what I love about her is that she was prayed into existence because the people there wanted a mega statue of Mary. So they prayed over 500,000 rosaries to raise the money. And that's 5 million Hail Marys if you want to, figure it out that way. So the statue was sculpted by Charles Park. He's a very well-known sculptor. And so her mantle and her gown are made of welded strips of stainless steel. So during the morning hours, or, during the real early morning hours and then at dusk, the stainless steel reflects gold, and during the day it reflects kind of a silvery aura. And what I like about her is that she is one of 5 mega statues of Mary around the country. And her face is just incredibly beautiful. And the fact that the people did not have the money and they prayed and they prayed and prayed until the donations came in, that just taught so much about the faith of the people there.
Absolutely. And that statue is at the base of the Delaware Memorial Bridge that links Delaware to New Jersey. And as you come over the bridge, welcome to Delaware, there's a 33-foot tall stainless steel Our Lady of Peace. So that was a good choice. That was a good choice to include into your book.
Can you imagine driving in every day? I would love to drive to work every day and see this wonderful statue of Mary just standing there, blessing me as I go by.
Yeah. Bishop Saltarelli, who is the, 8th Bishop of Wilmington, he was the bishop when I started here at the diocese. He was very instrumental in putting that statue there. It's on the property of Holy Spirit Church in Newcastle, and he one of the things that he thought that people who are in despair, who may be going to that bridge to commit suicide, which isn't all that unusual, might see Our Lady and get some hope and some peace in their soul and give life another chance. So yeah, it's a great statue. Anybody who's traveling through Delaware or southern New Jersey should stop by and give it a visit. Can you give us another example of Delaware, Marion?
Well, another one, this one is under, I have a little section in the book. It's actually just 2 paragraphs, but it's called Stained Glass Bloopers. And so we have a stained glass blooper at St. Edmund Church in Rehoboth Beach. Mm. And there is a stained glass window of the presentation of Christ in the temple. And one, it's like a 3-panel window, and one side panel shows a burnt offering to God. And then the other side panel has the 10 Commandments in Roman numerals. But the 7th commandment is repeated twice. So we don't know if it was an artistic blunder or if the artist was trying to warn people about the 7th commandment is thou shalt not steal. So was it an artistic blunder, or was he trying to warn people about the dangers of stealing?
Well, that's incredible, and I never knew that about St. Edmunds and Rehoboth Beach. So great. So also your book, the full title is Incredible Catholic America: Smallest, Tallest, Oldest, Oddest. What's the smallest?
I have a section about, it must be 5 or 6 tiny little chapels around the country, each one claiming to be the smallest church in the world or the U.S. And, of course, now Texas would, of course, have to have the smallest church in the world. But actually, it's not the smallest church. That one seats about 20. I think the smallest chapel might be up in a tiny little town by Warsaw, North Dakota. And that particular chapel was built around 1907 by 7 Polish farmers. 4 of them were named Joseph, so they called it St. Joseph. That chapel is big enough, just big enough, for a priest and an altar server if they hold their breath.
How about the tallest?
Oh, the tallest would probably be another Marion statue, and that is by Butte, Montana. It's called Our Lady of the Rockies, and she stands 90 feet tall. Wow. And she was made. She's made of steel, and when they moved her up the mountain, she's made of 5 sections, so they had to move her up the mountain by helicopter. Wow. What's interesting about this statue is that you can actually walk inside the base of the statue and leave, a prayer request or a prayer card or some memento, honoring a loved one. The only statue I know of where you can walk inside the statue.
Wow. How about the oldest?
The oldest. I love this one. And we have several oldest things. So the oldest chapel in the United States is not American. It's French. Oh. And that's at Marquette University in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And that was a French chapel that was built around maybe the 1420 or so. Wow. And in the early 1900s, a lady bought the chapel, and she had it dismantled stone by stone by stone, and then she brought it to her Long Island estate. Well, there was a fire on her Long Island estate. The chapel escaped, and so the new owners dismantled the chapel once again and moved it stone by stone to Marquette University. Wow. So the chapel is older than the country of the U.S. is.
Absolutely. It predates Columbus. So, yeah, that's amazing.
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah. How about oddest?
This one pops to mind is I have I list some of the unique artworks in churches around the country. Maybe this one isn't the oddest, but it's certainly unique. In Parks, Louisiana, at St. Joseph Church, one of the pastors decided he wanted to, kind of spruce up the church and get some new paintings in there. So he commissioned a painting of Jesus and four of his disciples at the Last Supper.
Mm-hmm.
So you have Jesus sitting at the table, and then there's two disciples to the left and two disciples to the right. So he added, he asked the artist to include a little bit of Cajun humor. And so there's a little bottle of Tabasco sauce in the painting. And, it's just great because, if Christ had the Last Supper in Louisiana, they would have had Tabasco sauce.
Very, very true, I'm sure. It reminds me, in the new cathedral in Arlington, Virginia. Have you heard about this? There's in one of the stained glass windows, there's the logo of the Philadelphia Eagles football team. Have you heard that yet?
No, I haven't. We'll have to set that aside.
Yeah, absolutely.
For another project.
Yeah, the previous bishop of I guess Arlington, Bishop of Arlington, is a Philadelphia priest and a big Eagles fan. So yeah,
that's cool. Yeah.
Have to put that in your next book. Of all the sites that you visited and wrote about and researched, do you have a favorite?
There is one that really struck me while I was writing it, and it's the Grotto of St. Boniface up in Grenora, North Dakota, and that's way up the North Dakota-Canada border. So during the Depression, they had nothing. The people there had nothing, they had no rain, and then they would get these terrible clouds of dirt, the dirt storms that would roll in, and they just absolutely had nothing. And so what they did was they built a grotto to Mary, and every day these people would go out there and pray, even though, most grottos and most shrines that are built after they receive answers to prayer. But these farmers in Grenora, North Dakota, they built a grotto as a plea to God to help them. So they had not received their answer to prayer. They built a grotto as a prayer. And what's interesting about this is the grotto is located in Good Luck Township. Just another one of those idiosyncrasies.
Yeah. Good Luck Township. Well, that's pretty cool. In all your research for this book, Marion, is there any particular story that really surprised you or shocked you?
Surprised me or shocked me? I guess. Not really. Nothing that's really surprised me. I think what surprised me about the whole of the book is how many answers to prayers, how many miracles we have, how many saints we have in this country, and how much faith there is, from coast to coast, Alaska to Florida. There is just so much faith demonstrated across the country.
Yeah. Now, your book also has some trivia questions in there that folks can use, if they're playing trivia or for any reason. Tell us a little bit about that, if you would, please.
I also wanted the book to appeal to kids and to hopefully instill in them to learn a little bit more about the Catholic Church, especially those churches in their backyard. Sometimes we overlook the obvious and we think we need to travel somewhere to find something compelling, but a lot of times there are things in our backyard. So I included some trivia questions that might appeal to kids. And one of my absolute favorite questions is, which Jesuit missionary has his portrait done in corn? And where can you find his portrait?
Well,
Now, if you're in the Midwest, you might know this.
yeah, I would guess it's Kansas, but that's just a guess for the location. Am I close?
Well, you're kind of close. You're kind of close. It is the Corn Palace in Mitchell, South Dakota.
Oh, okay.
And his portrait is inside the Corn Palace because we know if it would have been on the outside, he would have been pecked to death by the birds.
Right.
So it's preserved inside. And Father DeSmet is a big name in South Dakota, Wyoming, and Montana.
Wow. Okay. Can you throw us one more question?
Here's a good one. I like this one. Why are devils afraid of round churches?
I give up. Why?
Because there's no place to hide.
That's
And one of the largest round churches in the country is at the National Shrine of Our Lady of Martyrs up in New York, in Arielsville, New York. And that particular church has 72 doors. So if you're in a hurry to get into Mass or if you're in a hurry to get out of Mass, you'll find a door.
That's great. Well, the book is titled Incredible Catholic America, Smallest, Tallest, Oldest, and Oddest. It's written by Marion Amberg, and it make a great Christmas gift or a gift for someone who's retiring, who may be wanting to do some travel in their retirement. And what's the best way, Marion, to get a copy of the book?
It's available from our Sunday Visitor at osbcatholicbookstore.com. It's on Amazon. It's on all of the online book sites, book retailers, and it's also available. We also want to patronize the Catholic bookstores.
Yeah, absolutely. Marion Amberg, thanks so much for being with us today on Catholic Forum. It was great talking to you.
Thank you so much.